Okay, I just returned from a weekend in Big Bear and I'm feeling so wintry and refreshed. Big Bear is one of the coolest places in the Southern California area because within just about 2 hours or so from LA, you're in what feels like a totally different state. You know, people imagine California to stereotypically be beach and flip-flops all the time, but up there in the mountains, you have all four seasons and you can actually throw a snowball. I don't know what happened to me, but after living here, I find myself missing the snow all the time. I can do without the freezing cold and gloomy skies that you get on the East Coast in the winters, but I get the blizzard FOMO. I mean, I found myself this morning watching the New York news just to see what was going on with that snowstorm over there, and I'm already finding myself missing the snow from this past weekend. So you know what? Let's recap the weekend from this cozy couch on how to spend a winter weekend in Big Bear, California.
Who says it doesn't snow in California?
So getting to Big Bear is pretty easy. It takes about 2 hours or so from Los Angeles, and the drive up the mountains is pretty beautiful. Big Bear is elevated about 6,700 feet above sea level and is best known for its ski resorts in the winter. I suggest renting a cabin from Airbnb, even though, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Airbnb anymore. I just find the fees and costs to be unreal lately. I mean, you can get a hotel, but I kind of wanted that secluded cabin vibe with a cozy fireplace and all that. It is pretty expensive though, so you can just spend a full day in Big Bear, but logistically it is a lot, so making a full weekend out of it is the best way to do it all.
Welcome to Big Bear.
We're in Big Bear. It's a fresh day.
Fresh day.
The air is so fresh.
Skiing, though, is probably the most popular thing people do here. You have the Snow Summit and Big Bear Mountain right across the lake here. As much as I love doing it, it is logistically complicated, so you gotta know what to do.
So here's what to do. Lift tickets are pretty expensive, so definitely book in advance on their website for the best pricing options. We went to Snow Summit because it's generally better for beginners, and this was only my second time skiing. The most difficult part about skiing in Big Bear is the logistics to it. To actually park at the resort, you have to be willing to wake up really early and arrive by like 6 or 6:30 a.m. just to find a spot in the paid upper parking lots. And it costs anywhere from $20 to $50 depending on the day. There are some free lots, however, including at Sandalwood, Fox Farm Lot, Brownie Lane Lot, Moonridge Lot, and Backward Look Lot, and there's free shuttles that will take you right up to Snow Summit. There's also a few parking lots that are operated by the city, and the free mountain transit can also take you there, including the Knickerbocker parking lot where we parked. I would definitely suggest, however, that you don't rent your equipment at the resorts because you're going to find pricing way better at the shops just around the town, and you don't have to wait in line at the resort for an hour or two just to get your equipment. We rented equipment the night before at Get Boards for about $40, and this was a lifesaver because we didn't have to wake up even earlier just to get our equipment for the day. We already had it ready to go, and then you can enjoy the slopes. Skiing is exhausting though, and I found myself sore the next day, but you know what? I did a really good job. I think I've graduated from the bunny hill, and I'm ready for what's next at Big Bear.
How was it?
I'm addicted to skiing. That was so thrilling. I want to do it again and 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 again.
Are you ready for the big hill?
Almost. Almost.
If you're not even into skiing, I still think it's really worth it to come up here because there's so many other things you can do, especially just walking around Big Bear Village. It's kind of like walking around a Hallmark movie in a way. I mean, it's middle of January and it's still lit up for Christmas. It's kind of like a never-ending Christmas here.
The idyllic Big Bear Village has all the dining, souvenir shops, ice cream shops, and coffee shops
that you need. It kind of feels like a city you might find in Colorado or somewhere that's definitely not in Southern California. I loved the Tea and Coffee Exchange, which also has an even cozier location in Lake Arrowhead with that rustic winter atmosphere. There's something so great about a little coffee shop in a wintry area, isn't there? It gets really busy at night. For some reason, I thought this would be like a ghost town, being such a small town, but obviously it's a huge tourist destination. So making a dinner reservation is definitely worth it because it can get pretty difficult to find food.
Just driving along the lake too is an activity in itself.
Okay, driving along the lake in Big Bear is almost like driving on the PCH in the mountains.
Gives her love with no one to tell how much she means. And she knows the hearts grow cold the longer it goes, but you can't let it go.
Honestly, I found a lot of fun in just pulling to the side of the road and making snowballs and pretending like I was 10 years old.
I was the target. It's payback time.
I love the snow. I love it. This is why I love Big Bear. You can just come up to the mountains within 2 hours and get a winter wonderland of snow.
Found that love is never true when it's for free.
Sometimes you just gotta pull up on the side of the road and play with some snow.
Is its currency, and he knows the hearts grow cold the longer it goes.
Look how pretty this
You
is.
can't let go, but you gotta let go to the sound and the noise of I love you.
And finding hidden gems along the lake, such as the Big Bear Dam Keeper's House, is cool in itself. It's now a bunch of ruins and sits atop a picturesque hill beyond the dam at the lake's south end.
With great views of Big Bear Lake.
It was featured in the 1931 Frankenstein movie, so it has that eerie feeling on top of the lake and definitely gives you that old Hollywood vibe that some sort of movie had to be filmed here.
Getting lost in the mountains in Big Bear hits a little differently.
And then we just started climbing the mountain. It gets pretty slippery though, but the views of the lake and just being surrounded by the pine trees and pine cones at your feet feels so refreshing.
I love palm trees too, but sometimes you need a change of scenery that is kind of like a reverse vacation. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of miss the cold, or at least California cold.
It does get a little cold though, but maybe not as cold as you think. It's not, 20 degrees or anything here. There's skiing yesterday. It was about 50 degrees in the daytime, which was quite warm, and I was actually sweating. At night here in Big Bear, it does get really chilly. Right now, it's probably under 40 degrees, and you got that wind chill, so it truly does feel like you're in like a winter mountain type of area. Well, just look how beautiful it is here. And here I am sitting at Big Bear Lake. We got Snow Summit in the background, the lake breeze and the quiet peacefulness. Sometimes it's nice to just get away from LA and the city and just enjoy what winter is really meant for. Snow, chill, and nice winter sunsets.
Sunsets in Big Bear were pretty astonishing. Just when I thought it was going to be a dud for when I was filming, it turned out to be one of the best I've ever seen.
Fun fact, winter sunsets are actually more beautiful than any other season in California because the sun is spending more time near the horizon versus the summer when it drops right down and there's more moisture in the air, which cuts down on how far the light can transit from the horizon. I mean, look at this. It's just a reminder of how freaking beautiful nature is. Like, we get to live under these sunsets. That's pretty magical.
So last year, I found myself storm chasing around Los Angeles when that weird blizzard was happening in March. and I got to make snow angels up at Mount Baldy. I think as the years go by, I find myself mourning and grieving the loss of my childhood that seemed to have just slipped away from my fingers. I don't know what happened. It's trips like these though that keep my inner child intact. And now I feel refreshed as I'm back to the sunshine and reality in LA. So I'll see you next time for maybe a warmer vlog around the city. Stay warm.